Hi everyone, it's Helen here and thank you for joining me today. So today we're going to be making this lovely little album. It is super easy to make and it's made from one sheet of 12 by 12 and you can add another sheet of contrasting paper for your inserts and for some extra mats. So this is what it looks like from the outside, and I've just simply decorated it from bits and bobs from my stash. I just love the way that looks. And so let's open it, and here we have a pocket with an insert there, and then we turn over and we have a flap out flip here, and then on the last page, on the back page, we have a slide out tag there. So this is absolutely super easy to make, and then you can add your photographs or any memorabilia in there, and this is actually quite slim as well, so this is going to fit into a larger album. If you have a pocket, you can pop that in, and it really does create extra places for your page mats, your photographs and other bits and bobs. So I have used the tropical papers from Violet Studio, and everything that I've used today I'm going to do my best to list them down below, as a few of these things are from my stash, so I won't be able to find those. But today I'm going to make a contrasting or a different version of this using a different 12 by 12 pad. Now this one was in my craft haul from a few videos ago. Now this is like the floral design, and I've chosen my two papers already. Okay, so I am going to use my scoreboard for this one, and I'm going to be using this one as my main piece. Okay, so for the first score line we are going to score at, I'm going to turn this on the side actually, this is a directional paper, and I'm going to turn it on its side for the first score line, which is at 6 inches. I'm going to turn it round again, so now it's the right way round, and I'm going to score that at 4 and 8, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Okay, so let's get that folded on the 6-inch score line first, and then we are going to fold in on the other two. So I'm going to be listing or making the title of this one sheet of 12 by 12 because that's all you need to make the basic album, and if you have double-sided paper you won't need to add extra mats, and you can just add extra cardstock for your inserts. So basically, because this is a single-sided, I am going to delve and take one more from the paper pack. Okay, so you can use a craft knife for this or scissors. I used scissors for that for my last one and it did go a little bit wonky, so I'm going to give you a pencil line as well. So if you have it in that orientation, and we're going to add a pencil line to the first intersection from the first two rectangles, so we're going to cut all the way down, all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to use a craft knife for that. Like I said, I went wonky with my scissors, so I do like a straight line. Oops, I pushed that. Let's go back on there. We will see how that turns out in a moment. I may have to do some extra trimming. I did go off there, but we will see how that turns out, and I think I will just cut that. There we go. Okay, so you should have something that now resembles this. So we're going to fold it in half, just like that. Fold it in half. Then what we're going to do is we're going to fold this backwards and this one inwards. We are going to do some extra trimming in a moment, and inwards like that. So we're going to be gluing this into a pocket. No, we're going to be gluing this one into a pocket, and this one here is going to be our flap, and this one here is going to be a pocket. So I've only made one of these, so I'm just trying to remember how I put this one together. Okay, so we need to do some trimming first because these two outer flaps here need the excess taken off, so we can fold this. As you can see, it wants to be a bit bulky, So grab your paper trimmer, or again you can use a craft knife. Put the first one in, and I'm going to take about 1/8 of an inch off. I am literally just going to estimate that. There we go, about that much off that side. Turn it over, do the other end. There we go. And now we can get gluing. Okay, so we're going to start off with this pocket first. So I'm going to add glue along here and along there to close that, or you can go along here and along there. There we go, there's the first one. Okay, and now we need to secure all this down. So all I have to do now is add glue along the bottom line here to make that into a side pocket. And you will get better results if you use wet glue for this, because if you use tape, your inserts may get stuck and slippy and slidey inside your pocket. So you know when it gets all jaggedy when you're trying to push it in, it could get caught inside that tape. So that's why I use the wet glue for that. And this is really easy actually to get this pin on. As you can see, it's a very fine nib, so if you have a finger just behind there, it helps to guide that into that tiny little hole like that. There we go, nice and easy. Okay, so this is coming together really nicely, so all I have to do now is mat this side and make the inserts for those sections. But before we do that, my trusty old 1-inch circle punch. This has been my bestie probably since 2015, quite a while. So I'm going to pop that in there to make the side pocket thumb tab, move over, and we're going to do the same on this one here. If you find it easier, do that before you glue it together. Okay, so let's make the pockets. Sorry, not the pockets, the inserts. I'm going to have to need my big trimmer for this one. Okay, so the first one is going to be at 4 3/4, and I am going to have to get my trimmer out now because the 5 3/4 has disappeared. Okay, so that's our first sheet. And if you want, you can grab another piece of paper from your paper pack. I'm just going to quickly show you. I've glued them together to make it double-sided, so if you want to, just go for the rest of the papers in there. Okay, so I'm going to round the corners for that. Just on the top sides, just to be a little bit different, and I'm going to punch a hole in as well. I'm going to use the bigger one. This is the Crop-A-Dile. I love this one. I've had this since 2006. I've had this a very long time. It's one of the very first craft tools I bought myself. Okay, grab some twine. Okay, you should all know how to do this, but if you don't, fold it in half and then feed that folded section through the hole, and now you have a loop. Now feed the tails through that loop, and then that will fix it in place. So this will be perfect for even doing your gift tags and things. Okay, it should not be this fiddly, but sometimes things turn out that way. There we go. Let's grab the album. Okay, so we can now slide that in there, and if you find that your glue did go in a bit too much, just trim a little bit off. I like this. I can show you how to correct something. Okay, so we're going to trim this down to, let's do this upside down. Let's trim this down to 3.5. And I haven't spoiled my corner because I can just take my corner around it again and then cut that back in. I mean, that is a little bit off now, but I'm not going to let that bother me. That should now fit in there nicely. There we go. Let's move that out the way. I'm making a bit of a mess now. Okay, so let's make another paper mat. I may be able to use this offcut here. Okay, so this needs to measure 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. So that's 3 3/4 already, and I'm going to cut this at 5 3/4. That is going to go here. So I'm going to go back to the pad now. I'm going to choose another piece of paper. I can't wait to use this on a scrapbook page. I don't really want something that's going to be too distracting. I mean, I have some offcuts here. Let's have a look at this. It's always worth visiting your offcuts and auditioning your pieces. I do have a navy one here. Now that's quite nice. I mean, I could always just put another one, a matching one there. I'm not sure if I have one or not. I think I'm going to go with this one. I mean, when I'm editing the video, I will see the perfect matte paper and I will say, no, should have used that one. That happens quite a lot. Okay, so this is going to be 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, and all of this, all the measurements that I'm giving you here and the directions, they're going to be on my website, and the link for that will be down below, and this video will be on that same page. So everything is going to be together on the same page, and I will also list everything that I've used as well. I think I went a bit too big on that one because I trimmed off that, so that's a really easy fix. You can just trim a little bit off. There we go, and let's get those glued down. Okay, so that is our album done. Fold that in, I'll fold that over. Just need to make an insert for that one. I will do that off camera, but I will give you the measurements now. For that, it is a different size, and you need that to measure 5.5 by 3 3/4. But again, all of those are going to be written down on my website, so it's all in one place for you to do as a cutting guide. That's the word I was looking for, cutting guide. So we'll pop that in. No, that's not the right one. I'm popping that in the wrong album. Okay, let's pop that back in this one. Again, you can add tassels and things. And here is our other album. So just to talk about the decorations for this one, I have gone into my stash and I found myself some frames. These ones are from Love to Create or Love to Craft. They're wooden frames. Now this blue one here would look lovely. Again, if you don't like any of the patterns, you can just turn it over and have the contrasting bare wood. So I think on this one I'm just going to have the bare wood, and my heart shaped, I use the Sizzix texture roll. So this has already been through the wash. As you can see, it's really nicely creased, and the heart I used for that was Creative Dies Stitched and Pierced Nesting Hearts die set. I don't know if this is in stock at all. I literally just went into my stash and just pulled out all the bits that I wanted to use. Otherwise they may be available, just the plain hearts one without the stitched and the pierced, but I really love the stitched and the pierced look. And the banner this banner here, I have used the Labels and Banners die set. Now these are quite dinky. It does coordinate with the Grand Day Out sentiments, but these are great just for using on their own as well. They're great for popping up and behind and layering up your sentiments. I mean, that would look great just cut out using the gold as well, and that will cut out nicely, as you can see by the heart shape. And then I've just used a tiny heart stamp punch and some gold foil there, just for a little bit of contrast on the heart. Let's see if we can get that to focus. No, it doesn't want to focus, but you get the gist of it, what that looks like. So just go into your stash and layer up your bits and bobs on the front of your projects. So off camera, I'm going to finish decorating this one so that I can have these both displayed on my thumbnail and extra photographs on my website as well. So let's pop this back on. Left hand as well, nice and easy. Okay, so if you like this mini album, give me a thumbs up. If you do make this mini album and you're on Facebook, I'd love for you to join me on my Facebook group, Paper Crafting with Helen Griffin. And that's the same if you have any Simply Made craft projects that you've made as well. I just absolutely love seeing all of your makes. So please do join us along there. There's a lovely bunch on over there already sharing things. So if you like this one, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again very soon.